Good morning, and welcome to a frosty morning and a frosty live. Well, hopefully it's not a frosty live. On this beautiful second day of winter, the sun is shining out my window and casting shadows across my workspace. Welcome to another live. If you're watching on the replay, so nice for you to join me, and thank you so much for watching. Please, if you're watching on replay, hashtag replay. That means you won't see the live up in the top corner. If you're watching live, feel free to interact and chat. May or may not see your comment, but I'll see how I go. Today, I want to bring to you why I love the close to my heart stamps and why I love stamping. Now, do you remember the first time you lifted the stamp off, the stamp block off the project, seeing the flawless stamped image? I know that I've heard so many people do that. The first time they did the stamping, and to hear their oh, wow, to see that beautiful image is just such a thrill to my soul. Doing in-person workshops and just having that person for the very first time doing a stamp, me teaching them how to stamp and doing that was just so awesome. Now, I started way back with some rubber stamps, and they were alphabet stamps. I thought this would be great because I'll be able to stamp on my projects, my titles and my words and everything. And I stamped and all the letters went wonky. And at that point in my life, I decided I am never stamping again. I hate this whole stamping gig. Now, I love being creative, which is one of the reasons why I take photos, and I take heaps of photos. But I am absolutely hopeless at drawing. I would love to be able to draw fun things and put them in books and illustrate and everything, but I know that I just can't. And so what I've discovered is stamps for me are totally, definitely the way to go. Now, let me tell you a little bit about close to my heart stamps. Before I do that, I just want to say good morning, Ruth. Thank you so much for commenting. It is a cold morning, and I imagine in Ballarat it would be freezing. Close to my heart stamps are a clear, unmounted stamp which give the highest level of crafting versatility whilst being totally reusable for years of creative fun. You can see this one I have used, it's stained like I described in the last video I did yesterday. This particular stamp, although it is stained, it's still good. It won't cause your lighter inks to discolor at all. Good morning too to Pauline and Nicole. Thanks so much for watching. Close to my heart stamps are made from this stuff, if you're into the techie information, from stuff called liquid photo polymer resin. Now, it's a clear material. It's sturdy, but it is flexible, and it's easy to remove from the stamp carrier, which I showed again yesterday, and place directly onto a clear acrylic block. Now, Close to my heart do also sell clear acrylic blocks. Gee, that's a tongue twister. But any clear acrylic block will do. And I haven't even been drinking this early in the morning, which is good. Some care is required, as I showed yesterday, but they are durable enough to withstand repeated use over several years. Now, as I mentioned, both the stamp and the block are clear, so you can see exactly what you're stamping, where you're stamping, which gives you greater control and confidence, allowing layered stamped images and just stamping exactly where you want to. When I was introduced to Close to my heart stamps, again, I had that thought in the back of my mind that said, you don't want to stamp. It's going to be messy and it's going to go all out of line. And yet when I did try for the very first time, and it was this beautiful, clear stamped image, and I could see exactly where I was stamping, I was just so thrilled. Apart from the fact that I got ink on my fingers, and there was my very first experience of getting inky fingers and I freaked out. It was a great experience. Another good thing about being clear and unmounted, unlike the block stamps, is that they're so easy to store. So I can store all of these stamp sets in that much space. Now let me just show you through these stamps. So this particular stamp is one stamp here, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 stamps in there. Removed from a block, I don't need 5 blocks. I just need the one stamp and the one block. And that in itself stores my 5 stamps. But as we go along, and I'll show you these in more detail. There are more and more stamps and bigger stamps, and yet all of those stamps fit in a very small space, which is great. Realistically, after several years, and I have had this for a few years, it will still store exactly the same in the clear envelope, on the carrier sheet, in that stamp envelope. One thing I will point out though is do avoid placing these or leaving these where sunlight, direct sunlight, can get to them. It will degrade the stamp, it will yellow it, and after a while it will actually cause the stamp to tear a lot easier. I know that because it takes a while, but I have left it and it's not a nice feeling. Now, the reason I have all of these stamps also is because I just wanted to show you the Close to My Heart stamps come in different sizes. There's A, B, C, D, and E, as well as M, and M for mini. I'm going to show you this stamp in a minute and add it to something I stamped yesterday. So here's a couple. These are both on special at the moment too. They are normally $7.50, but Close to My Heart have reduced them down to $4.50. So make sure that you jump on the sale and grab what you want. So with the A size stamp, you can see it's a smaller stamp, but it does come in this 6" by 6" envelope. And that means that it's just really easy to store them all together. An A size stamp is a set price and you get a certain number of stamps. So you can see it is smaller. Then we move to B. So the B size stamp, you can see it's a bit bigger than A size. The price jumps up a little bit and you get more stamps. This also is one that's in the sale. I actually bought this before the sale because I really wanted, again, the Merry Christmas. I'm going to be doing some cards, Christmas cards, and I wanted some gorgeous Christmas sentiments. And that's just going to be super handy. But also I can use these on scrapbook pages as well for presents and a Christmas tree. Then we have C. And again, you can see moving from B to C, we've got even more stamps. Now, this stamp is quite old. This is from a very long time ago. This one is no longer available, but I've held on to it because it's just got some really great circles. If I want to do a page with circles on it, then that's really good. We move up to the D size, and you can see it really has increased in size. So lots and lots of stamps on the D size. One above the D is an E size stamp. Now with an E size stamp, don't be fooled. This is an alphabet and you can see that it finishes at U, but an E size stamp usually contains 2 carrier sheets. So if I open this up and pull it out, you have A to U, turn it over, and then you have V to 9 and some symbols as well. Now with my E size stamp, sometimes what I'll do is I will actually take this carrier sheet out and leave it out of the packet. You can do it with all stamps, but I like to keep the carrier sheet in the stamp set because I find it's easier to see what the stamp is with that white background. But with my E size stamps, because it's a lot thicker, not only do I like to take it out because it reduces the thickness, but also that way I can flip it over and see exactly what's on the other side. So that's my E size stamp. There are other stamps that are different sizes. So the S stamps, so anything that says S, is a stamp of the month. And this is the stamp of the month for June. Now, if you come across a stamp set with an S at the front of it, you can actually tell exactly when it's come from. So the first 2 numbers are the year it was produced or the year it was available. So 2022, and the second 2 numbers are the month it was available. So 2206 is June 22. This is the stamp of the month from June 2022. Let me just grab another one that I have hiding over here. And if we have a look at this one here, this is the May 22 stamps of the month. And that was the stamp of the month from last month. Now, as I mentioned, stamp of the months are only available during the month that, so this one is only available during June and the May one was only available during May. You cannot get that anymore. So that is another type of stamp set or label for a stamp set is the stamp of the month. We also have specials for our VIPs. If you're a VIP or if you're a consultant that has VIPs, you can also access special VIP stamps, and they will be labelled with VIP and then their number. So that was a special a little while ago. We also have, they're called constant campaigns. They're not constant. The makers in a group did actually think of another name, but I can't think of it now. So this was a special that finished last month. Again, it was the penguin stamp that came as a kit, and they are the CC. So if you ever wondered what those codes are, that hopefully has explained a little bit about the codes. When you're ordering these, if you send a message to your maker, it's always handy to include the code that you want as well as a description, just in case one of these gets, let's say, auto-corrected. But it just helps a maker to find the stamp that you're after. Now, I mentioned also that some of our stamps do come with thin cuts, in which case they will have a different number. So thin cuts come as a Z and then a number following it. So this, again, this is another one that is on special at the moment, the Festive Borders. When I turn this over, you can see I've got some cutouts in there. But I pull this one out, and again, we've got a carrier sheet, and there are our thin cuts. Now, on the carrier sheet, I can actually bring this in close and see the stamp set is C1902. So I could do a search and see if that stamp is available as a standalone, which it probably won't be. Might be, not sure. But there you have an explanation of all of those. Now, on sale at the moment, as I mentioned, there are Stampin' Thin Cut bundles. There were over 175. There may be less because I went and bought some yesterday, and nearly 300 standalone stamp sets as well as 5 exclusive stamps. So check out your maker's, I was going to say Facebook page. No, it's cold. My fingers are freezing. Check out your maker's website for all the gorgeous stamp specials there are on at the moment. Now, let me just show you some stamping as well. So I mentioned before that I love stamping because I can't draw to save my life. I didn't say it like that. But say, for instance, a little Santa face. I would love to be able to draw something like this. It's so cute. Draw it and then colour it in or put some bits and pieces on it, but I can't. And I know I can't. So what do? Well, I buy the stamp. And at $4.50, who wouldn't want this little guy? So I buy the stamp. Now, another thing to note with your M-size stamps is that M-size, the mini stamps, fit on a 2" by 2" block, which is a really good thing to know. If you're starting out with stamping, why not start with an M-size block? Sorry, an M-size stamp and a 2 by 2 block. So again, what I've done is I've just carefully peeled this particular stamp off my carrier sheet. So in case you didn't see yesterday, this is a carrier sheet. That's an envelope. Then we have a sponge inside, which helps protect the stamp. I've pulled my stamp off the carrier sheet. I'm going to put it onto my block, make sure there are no air bubbles underneath. I will then season my stamp. So I like to season it just by rubbing it on my skin. I don't use any moisturizer, so that's fine. So season my stamp and then making sure I've got a squishy underneath my paper. This is a stamp I did yesterday. The reason I'm doing Christmas is because it's June. July, often we celebrate Christmas in July, so I'm just getting ready for that. So I've got my ink here and I'm going to ink up my stamp, and it really is as easy as just tapping your stamp onto the ink pad, hold it over your paper and make sure you've got a nice even coverage. Now, he's not actually going to fit on there, so I'm going to pop him over here. Press straight down, hold for 3 to 5 seconds, and then lift off. And that is what makes my face smile. If you can see my face, it's smiling because it's such a nice, clear image. It's so good. It's so good. I'm going to do another one. So again, ink up the stamp and stamp it down. stamping down, holding for a few seconds, and then lifting off. And again, it's such a nice image. I just want to keep going, but I've run out of paper and I've probably run out of time. So I'm going to clean my stamp off. A couple of ways you can do it. You can just tap it on your paper. You can grab a chamois. My chamois is over there and it's dry, so I'll clean my stamp in a minute. But there I have a couple of really nice images. Now I can trim them down to square and add that onto a card or something. I could even add it onto a page. Quickly put that back on. But I have some really nice clear images. The last thing I need to do once I've cleaned that is to pop that. In fact, that's clean enough. So peel that off, put it back onto my carrier sheet and put it all away so I don't lose my stamp. I also find the little insert helps me just to put it back into this cover. Otherwise, I'm trying to push the foam in as well. But many makers do take those inserts out so that they can store more in their containers. You can see that if I took those two pieces of paper out, then that would squash a little bit flatter. So there you have it. No great stamping insights today, but I will be back tomorrow with some more stamping insights. But now you know a little bit more about the Close to My Heart stamps, what they're made of, what the different numbers and letters are on. And the great thing is, if you want to, you can actually sort these alphanumerically if you want. I'm still undecided as to how I'm doing it. I have been using Evernote this morning rather than playing games. I've been dumping all of my stamps into Evernote, which is a sorting device. So hopefully that will help me. But anyway, enough from me. I hope you have a fantastic day today. Get out in the sun, absorb some of that vitamin D. Have fun with your stamps. Let me know what you're up to. What are you doing? Are you going to be prepping for Christmas in July by doing some Christmas things? Are you coming to see me at Bendigo Craft Live? It is now officially 1 week before it starts. Until I see you, stay safe, keep crafting, and bye for now.